So every year in free agency, you see these teams, and some of them just can't wait to go out there and blow their money. And they blow money on guys, and you wonder what the hell they're doing. But then you'll see those deals that are smart. They're actually very smart, and they make a world of sense. And we would sit there and think, if we were in that same position, we would hope we would make those similar types of smart decisions. And a couple of those smart signings, those low-risk, high-reward types that I saw this first week of NFL free agency were by the Bills and by the Jets, and they were both at the quarterback position. And when you've got a marketplace where Kirk Cousins just got $28 million a year guaranteed, a good starting quarterback, but not an elite starter, he just got paid elite money. You see a marketplace where Mike Glennon, for fuck's sakes, can still get $8 million potentially over 2 years, and Sam Bradford gets $15 million guaranteed to suck and be hurt. It is nice and refreshing to see some teams have their senses and wits about them and say, okay, we'll go in a different direction. First, the Buffalo Bills. A.J. McCarron fought so hard to get free agency, get unrestricted free agency, and he got it. And maybe he didn't get what he wanted, but the Bills got something decent in return. 2 years and $10 million for A.J. McCarron. That was it. And you can say, well, that's still $5 million a year. It's easy for us to say when it's not our money, and that is absolutely true. But when you look at the marketplace, he got $1 million more per season than Mike Glennon. And I don't know about you, but I would rather pay $5 million a year to A.J. McCarron than $4 million a year to draft Matt Glennon. I'm just saying. So you're talking about a Bills team that was able to peel off Tyrod Taylor, get a third-round pick in return, and clear out some cap space. Take Cordy Glenn, who's a good left tackle when he's healthy, but that's part of the issue. Flip him to the Bengals and move up from 21 to 12 to position themselves potentially to make another big move if they need to go get the quarterback they want. In the meantime, they go out there and sign a younger, cheaper quarterback, another bridge type of guy, and it feels like that'll be a buzzword for 2018's off-season free agency period. In the draft, we'll be talking about bridge quarterbacks like crazy. Well, A.J. McCarron is a pretty young and pretty cheap bridge quarterback. And when you look at the value of the deal, 2 years, $10 million, worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, he's a reasonably priced backup quarterback. Reasonably priced, very reasonably priced. And if he ends up starting for you in 2018 and he plays well, especially if you have drafted a young quarterback in round one, which you would expect the Buffalo Bills to do so, he becomes eminently more marketable because of that low cap figure he'll carry in 2019 and the fact he'll still be under contract for 2019. You might be able to get a decent return on him for very little investment, honestly. Worst case scenario, reasonably priced backup quarterback. Best case scenario, not getting crazy here and saying A.J. McCarron shows himself to be the franchise quarterback of the future for the Bills. Best case scenario is he plays well enough, and whatever opportunity or time he gets in 2018, and his contract becomes very appealing and his level of play becomes very appealing to a quarterback-desperate team, and somebody gives you like a second-round pick for him. Shit, stranger things have happened. The Vikings, out of their desperation 2 seasons ago, gave up a first and a fourth-round pick to get Sam Bradford! Son of a bitch cons everybody! Just saying. That was a really good deal for the Buffalo Bills. And you look at the Jets. You could talk about, well, they gave Josh McCown $10 million this year. Well, there are reasons for that. He could be a leader in that quarterback's room. He could be a leader on the field for that team. He could be a leader on the sidelines, a leader in the locker room in general. Part of it is kind of a thank you for sticking around in 2017 and coming back. I don't have that much of a problem with giving him $10 million over one season because, again, it's only a one-year deal. But getting Teddy Bridgewater, a former first-round pick, to come in at 1 year, $5 million, what the hell, why not? Why not? What's the worst that could happen? You've invested a little bit of money in him, not a ton, and if he plays well, great. Then you've got a bigger question to ask yourself for the future. And if he doesn't, or he doesn't win the job, or he doesn't see the field, then so be it. But this is a team that burned a second-round pick ridiculously on Christian Hackenberg a couple years ago, and it looks like he's never going to start a game for them, or if anybody in the NFL. Now you bring in a Teddy Bridgewater. It's a pretty reasonable $5 million gamble. This is a guy that once had first-round talent. This is a guy that I feel like could still play at the NFL. he is a guy that I feel like you could win some games with. Not always because of, but you can win some games with, like Minnesota did in 2016. Or 2015, excuse me, whatever. The point I'm getting at here is this was a really good, low-risk, potential high-reward type of signing. Makes a world of sense. And another good guy to bring into the mix in case you do end up drafting a young quarterback in the first round, or maybe you don't. Maybe the Jets aren't enamored with any of the young quarterbacks, or maybe if they are enamored with them, they have absolutely no intentions of starting them in year one no matter what. And that seems kind of silly and not necessarily the right approach in my opinion, but that could be what they're thinking. But either way, Bridgewater, for the talent level that he has, for the price that they paid, was a really good deal for the Jets. And I also forgot to bring up the Chicago Bears with Chase Daniel. Here's a guy you bring in, similar to McCarron, 2 years, $10 million. Perfect type of backup for Chicago. No real threat to usurp Trubisky. No real challenge to Trubisky's throne or his playing time or his position as the team's unquestioned starter. But he is a guy that has system familiarity under the offense that Matt Nagy will run. He's a guy that stylistically is somewhat similar to a guy like Trubisky in terms of some of the mobility that he brings to the table, some of his ability to run some of the spread and read option concepts that the Bears will surely employ in 2018. And at that price, again, it's a decent deal. You know, these are the type of deals that work out in free agency, and you say, well, what's the big deal about them? Well, the truth is, we just never know. Nick Foles is on the scrap heap, thinking about finishing out his theology degree or whatever the hell at Liberty, for God's sakes, and now he's a Super Bowl MVP. You never know. But what you do know is you don't give $15 million guaranteed to guys with bum knees like Sam Bradford who haven't been very good any damn ways. And I much rather would give a few million a year to guys like McCarron and Bridgewater and Chase Daniel, guys that have at least some athleticism, guys that can move a little bit, than a guy like a Mike Glennon who can't really do anything. So these are good moves by these teams, the Bills, the Jets, the Bears. Low-end money to spend on backup quarterbacks. Doesn't blow up the marketplace in terms of the value of a backup quarterback, which thank God it doesn't. And these are guys that if you need them, they could potentially play for you at least for a little while. Nothing wrong with any of these deals. And I wish more NFL teams would make more astute, smart, low-risk, high-reward types of signings like these ones, because a lot of times these are the ones that either A, work out, or B, if they don't, they have no real major impact on you anyways.